I really got to know about these socks.
I'll tell you about socks.
Chris, you look so awkward right now.
I'm figuring this out.
We got a very special guest today. His name is, he's laughing. He's not that special, but we love him. Mr. Chris Mulinix, the finance coach. Chris, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm good.
And my sometimes co-host, Justin Miller. Justin,
Hey,
what's
how's it
up?
going? Hey, blah. I'm trying to behave myself today.
Did you
It
not?
won't last long.
You didn't last time?
No, I cursed a lot. I got loud a lot. I was in and out. I don't
He
know.
was in and out.
I had some issues.
What happened was we started getting too drunk, and you can see that in like the end of.
Yeah.
We were both like, yeah.
And
No,
dude, we were rambling
glass.
on about
Who-
like
who-
the craziest shit.
Dude, it was all over the place.
Who was
Stuff.
here? You two?
And Sean.
Yeah.
Sean was here.
Sean was here. That
What-
was
What was that?
no, it was just a commercial.
You bastard can't buy the fucking song.
No, it's just on YouTube.
You're getting paid for advertising already?
I wish. Never. Probably never gonna happen. So we're talking about socks, left, right socks. Tell us your sock theory.
This is blowing my mind, by the way. I didn't know that was a
Well,
thing.
hold on, you guys. So you don't own a single pair of socks that say left and right.
No, my mom used to write it on there when I was a kid.
No. So like,
Why? I don't know. They're the same.
That was never even an issue. I just
You
picked them.
yeah. So the one side says left, one says right. And I can't. There will be a pot. Like let's say you lose socks, and like you lose a sock and it doesn't match. Like when you're doing your laundry and
So if
I mean, I'm not seeing any
Well,
left,
no.
right on there.
you
Okay.
lose a sock, you basically are out of pair because you can't.
Yeah, exactly, because I can't wear opposite. So, like, I'll show you this. This doesn't even say left or right, but I'll show you what this sock is that I'm wearing now. They're green, but you see how it has that logo?
Yeah.
So the other one
Is
has
on the
it
outside.
on the outside too. So I can't wear. It's a thing for me. It's like a weird thing.
See, those look like fancy gentleman socks.
They
though,
are.
like-
It's this brand called. It starts with an S. I can't remember. But I wear my panties are.
Oh, jeez.
They're the same brand, and this company's all about like tight fit. So like this has been going for like 10 years. Like I have socks just sitting there. If they don't match, if it's not left right, I don't
That's
wear
all
it.
she wrote.
Do they fit differently? Like if you tried to switch without looking, would it fit differently?
No, it's in my mind. I like won't walk right,
Well, at least you'd.
and then like I can't mix two different colored socks.
Can't mix two different
No,
colors.
I can't do white and black. Like it
Oh,
has
no,
to
no,
match
no.
identically. Like,
So, I'm
Yeah.
That's
as anal as I am. I don't do the left right, but I buy these like super light Hanes socks. They're like paper thin.
yeah, you're cheap.
They're actually
well. Those are like
probably compared to your socks is probably.
These
These
are
aren't
like
that expensive.
boat shoe socks.
No, there are boat shoe socks. I hate boat shoe socks, but I have them. These are just like ankle cuts. So like your sock still sticks up. But anyway, they don't have a left right. Basically, it's a pair, and you just throw them on. They're super thin. You wouldn't know the difference. But if a pair, like they changed the logo, like these are the older pair, they put like a new like logo on it, and like if one sock goes bad, and like I can't change up the logo. Like, you know what I mean? Even though they're
Yeah, I get
identical
that.
socks, they just changed the logo.
So it's the
But
same
I
thing.
know it's like you wearing a black or white. It bothers me.
I don't wear white socks anymore though.
No.
I got out of that like 5 years ago. I only wear black socks.
Yeah,
I switched all my socks from white to black.
You remember when everybody
and then
wore
green. I have green socks.
brown shoes there for a while? I had brown socks towards the end of high school and into like. You remember that?
Yeah, and all your socks had your initials written on them.
No.
What?
Yes,
You
I
fag.
swear to God,
Why would my socks have my initials on them?
dude.
You can get that done?
I wound up with socks of yours years ago after we lived in State College that had SK on them.
maybe white ones, but they're brown. How would I have gotten
No,
my
not the
initial
brown
on
ones.
Oh.
The white ones.
Oh, okay.
And where do you get socks that have your initials on them? Don't act like you don't know where
No,
you got them from.
He put it on there with a Sharpie. It was just written on there.
Oh, I thought you got it.
I believe that.
custom
That's
made.
believable.
It's real life. Like, it's not. I didn't make this up.
That's a reality. It happened.
I think I wound up with a few of your socks after you pissed in my sock drawer, and I had
You
to get all
pissed in-
new socks.
Why would you piss in someone's sock drawer?
Oh, man, the state college days.
I mean, I'm not saying I haven't had my
So
nights.
I used to not believe in blacking out. Like, I'm like, it's not a thing. Like, people don't black out.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. So the first time it ever happened, Justin and I were at a bar, and we used to go there every Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I didn't drink whiskey in college. It was always beer. But I pee like a little girl when I drink beer. So I started drinking whiskey, and Justin was just getting into drinking whiskey, like, Jack and Coke. And I still couldn't do, like, the mixed drink, so it was, like, shots. And we started drinking this stuff called Spice Jack.
Yeah.
Spice Jack. It was $9.99 a fifth, and it was, like, 102 proof or something weird.
99.
99, yeah. And, dude, we would get just
I
wrecked.
I don't think it was whiskey, though. I think it was
No.
rum.
No, it was.
Was it?
Yeah, because remember,
Well, you said it was
everybody
100 proof?
It was
everybody
awful.
used to always say that because they're like, oh, you mean Sailor Jerry, like, because they have like a
Right,
knockoff
right.
of that's rum, and we're like, no, it's whiskey. And
$10 a bottle.
Yeah.
$9.99
we went through one bottle,
and a half.
and we still felt good. We're like, let's open the next one. Dude, we opened the apartment door to leave, and it was just like, poof, I was gone. I came to like three other times. As soon as we got to the bar, maybe an hour and a half later, if
Yeah,
that,
because we stopped at somebody else's place
drank more.
and then went to the bar and immediately got kicked out.
Yeah.
Because we barely walked in there.
Yeah,
And then
I face planted.
well,
I had this huge rash.
This is your first time blacking out?
yeah,
the
First
bouncer
time.
takes us outside. He's like, you guys got to get out of here. And we're like trying to like convince him that we're not too drunk to be there. And I go to lean up against the telephone pole. I missed it by like 3 feet, and I fell right into the street. And Steve's barely standing up. He's like holding up a wall. And finally, after I fell in the street, I was like, all right, we'll get out of here. Clearly, we need to go. And then I don't remember the rest of the night, but Steve woke up in the morning with like road rash all down the side of his face. So at some point, he fell over into the street and ate it.
And,
Yeah.
And then he pissed in your sock drawer.
Yeah. Woke up in the middle of the night and pissed in my sock
it
drawer.
happened 3 times, 2 times, at
Two
least
times, and then you peed on the corner of my bed once.
2. Yeah,
The one time you did it, me and the girl I was dating at the time were in my bed watching TV. He was passed out. Woke up, watched him walk over to my closet, open my sock drawer up, take a piss, and go back to bed.
yeah.
I just kind of stood there like, what's happening?
Gotta go. Well, it was probably easy to clean up. You just throw all your socks in the washing machine.
Or
You
the
didn't
trash.
even wash them, did you?
Yeah, I washed him.
Yeah, he did wash them for me.
That's disgusting.
It was pretty, whatever. Yeah, that was blacking out days. I don't know how we got off on that tangent.
I
from-
still black out. I did it a
Socks.
couple weeks ago.
from
It all
socks.
started with socks.
It did all start with socks.
Sock thing.
All right, Chris. So let's get into coaching.
Mm-hmm.
How long you been coaching now?
Let's see. February, March, April. 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah. Only 3 months.
So what kind of made you want to do this?
Oh, yeah. When I had the the anxiety breakdown. That was. I've been wanting to do it for like 3 years, and then I was like, you can't make any fucking money at it, and I just kept trying to do stupid businesses.
So let's go through. Let's go on that for a minute. How many businesses have you done? Not even business ideas, because we'll be here all night. And I now know your retirement.
You know what my first business was, right? When I was in first grade.
Produce.
No, first grade.
Oh, okay. What were you selling spitball shooters? I did
I
that.
sold porn.
All right, run me through this.
Hold
How did you
on.
get? How did you get porn in first grade?
It wasn't like true porn, but all right. So I was in first grade.
Victoria's
Yeah.
Secret that he
Yeah.
stole from his mom.
No. It was better.
He's cutting it out and drawing on titties and
Right.
stuff.
It's better. It's better.
All right.
I went into the library, so they had a National Geographic book in the library at the school
Oh, jeez.
that you could take home. So I tried like selling, like when I was in first grade, I tried doing like, you put like candy, to try to make a quarter here and there, whatever. So what I did was I took the book home and I went and made copies over at my dad's office one night when my parents were like, we're not watching. I'm in first grade. I mean, who the fuck's letting their
What are
kids
you,
run out of the
8?
house? Yeah, I'm
7, 8 years
yeah,
old?
I think first grade's 6, 5, no, 6, 7, something like
7,
that.
yeah.
So I run over there and make copies, and I put them all in my backpack, and I go back to school. Sold 100 copies. Sold them $1 a piece.
Wow.
Made $100 in like 2 days.
What?
Yeah. So
You found 100 kids.
Yeah. Well, the kids bought more than one. I was taking their lunch money.
Give me your lunch
So, like I made these copies, and like I just made like
All right.
a couple different copies, and then I
So many questions about this.
Mhm.
A, somebody had to have gotten caught with it, and the school
Yes.
had to have been approached about
yes,
that.
they were. I'll never forget it. So like,
Did
and
they
I don't
rat you out? Did they know it was
Yeah,
you?
somebody. So I was in the hallway. I'll never forget this. Her name was Miss Painter, and we were in the hallway, and I was at the school store, and like we were buying, as I was just standing there, and she came up to me. She's like, she pulled out like 5 pieces of paper, and she goes, "Are you selling these to kids at school?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like,
caught me.
"Yeah." I was like, "Yeah." She's like, you can't sell these. And, it's just like National Geographic's like, African tits or like, whatever it was. Like, and I think some of them are like even like statues from like Athens, Greece or something. And she showed them to me, and I was just like, yeah. I was like, it was in the library. It's nothing they can't see. And I said, I just made a little business out of it. She's like, you're going to return all the money. I didn't return a single dime. And that was the first time I got caught with that. And then I got in trouble in 5th grade for selling. I made a remember paper guns? Remember those stupid paper guns we used to make? You guys ever make those? When
Yeah.
You guys,
Yeah.
So I would sell those for $1 a piece, and I'd do lessons for $5 a piece in 5th grade. I fucking made money doing that.
Hustling.
And then, and then I did. We did a stand out front of the driveway. We did that. I sold corn stalks. Shit, I've done a lot of shit. I mean, some of them was hustles. They weren't all like legitimate businesses.
Not corn.
So I would
Just
go.
the stalks.
I would go out in
buying corn.
No. So in October when people do
the
decor,
decorate.
to decorate.
Yeah, okay.
So
my wife would probably buy those.
yeah, and what we would do. This is the first venture with like my brother Mikey. I don't know. I was like 10, maybe. I don't know, maybe 10 or 11.
Yeah.
I go out in the field. We would bundle them up into 12s, a dozen, and we would buy them from my dad. Like, in the field, we buy them for like, I don't know, 50 cents a piece, and we go sell them for like $3 or $4, and then the hardware store would sell them for like $7 or $8. So we'd put together like 200 bundles, and me and Mike, we would work for a couple hours after school, and then we went to Kendall's, where later we would start the produce business, and yeah, he bought them from us, and we did that. We did a couple of years, so we're like, 11, 12 years old, making $300-$400 in like a day or two. Like, you're like, fuck, yeah, it was sweet.
Just selling some corn.
Selling corn, and then I did the produce stand with. I was 16, with my brother and cousin. We grew 5 acres of sweet corn, and then we would pick it every morning for like it was a 4-month season. So like we did it during school, like when you get out of school for 3 months.
Did you have to give a cut to your dad?
Yeah, we rented the property from him. So we rented. You pay per acre. I think it was like we ended up paying like a couple $100 per acre. It was like $300 an acre, and we got 5 acres of sweet corn. And I think it ended up being like a dozen would cost us 10 cents, and we'd go sell it for $4 or $5 a dozen.
That's
so
cool.
We'd hand pick it,
Yeah.
and then so we started with that, and then we started growing, and then when we just started doing tomatoes, watermelon, then we started buying wholesale peaches and all this stuff, and then next thing you know, I'm 16, 17 years old, 3-4 months worth of work, making 25, 30 grand.
Wow.
Under cash money.
Yeah, on
Yeah.
the table. So here I am, like I'm 17.
That's a boatload of money.
17, 18 years old, still in high school, like, and I'm like, kids going like they're making like $2,000 a summer or something. I'm clearing 20-25 grand.
What?
Yeah,
Cash though.
cash all on the table.
You were brought up right. If I figured out a way to make money like that at that age, I would have not needed that money. I would have.
I spent it. I mean, dude, I bought shit.
It would have been booze, drugs, whatever.
That's what I was doing. Yeah, I was buying. I bought Jeeps and trucks and boats and all kinds of shit. But
You do love the boats.
so I did that until I was 21, 22. And I was doing it for 7 years, and I was just taking out my summers. Got to the point, like,
Just got tired of
I
it.
just get tired of it.
Yeah.
I wanted to expand. I wanted to create it into like at this point, I started reading some books on like business and like how to scale and stuff, and I wanted to take it to the next level. My brother and cousin didn't, so I decided to get out, and I started fucking fasting all. Yeah, so like,
and
the
here
season,
we are.
Yeah, so the season was over. I was 22, and I was 20. I wanted to go out and party and like enjoy my summer and stuff. So I got out of it, and I went to I started working Fastenal and just play part time. And I was like, I fucking like this. Like, it was kind of fun, sales and stuff. So I decided to throw in the towel, and I went full time with Fastenal, and never went back to produce.
So you when did the malt business pick up in the Fastenal years?
I was 3 years and 3.5 years in 3 years into Fastenal.
Okay.
Yeah, so I always wanted. I tried like some online businesses. It didn't work. Like, I tried to sell grills online. Yeah, like drop shipping grills.
How? How did you do that?
I don't know.
Where were you getting the grill from?
So I was sitting on a couch one day, and I was just. I forget all this shit. I can't believe I even forgot all this stuff happened. So like, I was sitting on a couch one day. I was like hungover or something, and this guy came on TV. It was like one of those infomercials. And he's like, "I'll show you how to start an online business." And it's like $1,000 or something. It wasn't like crazy money.
Yeah.
So I ended up like signing up for it, and like you learn how to like use like Dobo or like this is before like Amazon was like huge, right?
Right.
So you would pick a niche, and you would. So I was like, all right, fuck it, I'll try grills. I didn't know what I was doing. It failed like instantly. Like I didn't even like make it a business. I didn't even make it legit. I just didn't know what I was doing. So I did that, and then while I was at Fastenal, I started a corn maze with my mom, and I did corn maze for 5 years.
Did you do like a dick in the corner, or your mom did something
Well,
that looked like a dick and
yeah,
she didn't know? It was supposed to be a cannon.
It was supposed to be. Yeah, it looked like a dick. Giant dick in the field. Yeah, it was pretty funny. I actually I don't have pictures on my phone. But it's pretty fucking funny. And then so I did that 5 years, and then I was getting a lot of fights with my mom. It just wasn't. I wasn't enjoying it either. Like, I didn't want to fucking do it anymore. I got to the point where like you're dealing with people. Like, I don't mind dealing business to business and stuff, but like you're dealing with like hundreds of just assholes walking in, and it's just like, I don't feel like doing
Selling to consumers.
It was the same thing as what produce was. Like, I mean, I can't tell you how many thousands of customers I've helped over the years, and you're just like,
that's how waiting tables is.
yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So I got out of the corn maze, bought the malt equipment, and like when I was 25, took me 3 years to get that even like working condition. So dropped, I think I ended up dropping like 80 grand into it. 80, 90 over the course of it's probably about 75, 80 over the course of 5 years.
How you doing on selling it?
The business, yeah. That woman backed out, so I have it in like some posts I had on eBay. I have it on eBay right now, trying to sell it.
The one that was super committed backed out?
Yeah, she backed out. Fucking bitch.
Wow.
When it came down to to get the money, she was like, I even offered to fucking finance it to her at 5% interest, and she would have paid it back in a year if she did it. I broke everything down on paper. I'm like, look, I just don't have time to do it. I got fucking 2 kids. At this point, I'm just kind of exhausted with the business. I remember calling you about it. Remember, it was one day I called you. I'm like, dude, I'm thinking about just throwing the towel. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm not going to do this anymore. And that's when I was like, fuck it.
Well, you struggled a lot with germination.
Yeah, that sucked.
Yeah.
It was terrible. The grain was tough in Maryland.
Yeah.
So I'm still trying to sell that business. So that one's actually closed down. So I ended up closing that down because I made that one an LLC because I did sell product. I ended up selling like $15,000 worth of product. So the good news was I was able to write off. I mean, I've been writing shit off Brittany and I's taxes, gross taxes, for the past 4 years. I mean, at the end of the year, I'm getting like $11,000 checks back from writing shit off. So when you look at it from,
I got to figure out how to get that done. I didn't get anything back on my taxes.
Well, that's a good thing. That means you're not paying the government to hold your money at no interest. That's actually a good problem to have.
Point.
I'd rather owe $100 and get $1,000 back because that means that the government had $1,000 of your money at interest at 0 interest for a year.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. It's really what
holding
it
it
is. Yeah, you're holding it up.
Yeah.
So the only reason I got so much back was because I was writing off the business stuff. I was doing all this I was weld work and machine work that was costing $5,000-$6,000. Because it got to the point where you're committed, right? There ain't no turn back. When you get into 30, 40 grand invested and you start to you're there, you're going all the way to 70. You don't have a choice.
You wouldn't even take that, man. You said 1,000 for the first business you had? No way. You said that's not a lot of money. What were you, 18, 19?
It was probably 19 at the time. Maybe I was probably 20.
That's a lot of money.
I didn't even know what $1,000 looked like when I was 19.
Dude, we used to. Dude, there was times where because we ran our business all under the table. Dude, I would have $50,000-$60,000 in cash in my room.
What did you do with it?
Well, I'd split up between three.
Oh, so you only had 20 grand.
Yeah,
at
but
19 years old.
that's how we were. That was our that was
only
that was our bank. So at the time, obviously the business is I've been at it for long enough and everything's legit now and everything. But at the time we were just kids. We didn't know what it was going to become. And then we had there was a time where we had 4 locations. 4 locations. We're at the fair. We had thousands of customers
selling corn,
selling produce.
That's nuts.
But I mean,
was it one of the honor system? You set the corn out on the stand and people take some corn and put some money in a box.
Dude, we're not talking mom and pop's little roadside stand. Dude, we were.
I don't know.
I guarantee to be easily on a busy Sunday or Saturday, probably 1,000, 2,000 customers come through there. Maybe 1,000.
There'll be some cubes in there.
Dude, it's crazy. But I mean, now it's legit. We didn't know what we were doing, but so I did that. And then I just started. And then, after the malt business failed, that's when I was like, I got to do something. I got really, pissed off. And then I went through my, anxiety breakdown.
Which one you want?
Pass me a tin cup.
And then now I'm doing financial coaching, which I actually like.
So what got you, pose back to the question, what got you into it? I mean, I know you kind of always had a passion for it, and I remember you bringing this up to me. And at least it's gone farther than your blender did, but
well, yeah, it's doing better than the blender ever did in 3 months.
Did you ever put money into the blender, or did you just stop it at an idea?
Oh, you're talking about my blender. Oh, you're talking about my
your battery powered blender that
was
supposed to go on the boat.
I still want to do that, but I had that. So I ended up having this breakdown, and at the time I wrote it down on paper. I was trying to start. I had 6 business ideas. I was actually trying to do it once.
All right, let's hear them. One was a blender.
I can't even do my full-time job.
I think it was 5.
Much less 6 side projects.
I think it was 5. I had them all written down. So one of them was a blender. I was working on the malt house. I was trying to start that. I was trying to start that independent rep company. Independent rep company I was thinking about starting.
Oh, with the guy selling the...
Yep. So I was trying to do that. And then when I went and saw my buddy, his dad sells fragrances, aromas and stuff that goes in your food and things. And then I started thinking about fragrances, and I came up with an idea to the smells that you put it in the little machine, it vaporizes out, and it makes
the oils.
The oils, yeah.
Essential oils.
On my way home, I was like, I got an idea. I'm gonna start this, and I was like, I'm gonna do one for cars, and I was gonna do call it road rage and just stupid names, right? So I called my buddy up. I was halfway home. He's like, dude, you need to calm the fuck down. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. I think I'm gonna do it. I was like, send me samples. He fucking sends me samples. I'm doing stuff at home, making labels on Vistaprint.com and stuff. And I'm like, I gotta come up with a name and all this stuff. So I'm doing all this shit.
I suddenly don't feel so bad about this podcast anymore.
Yeah, you shouldn't. Well, I learned to calm down. And then there was one, and then the blender was one that him and I actually were seriously pursuing. And then
if I didn't know any better, I'd think you had a serious coke habit.
Yeah,
seriously. I gotta make these labels, man. These labels. Gotta work on these labels. I'm gonna name one "Dirty Butthole."
Yeah. It's crazy. And then, dude, I was trying to do the blender one to this day. I still want to do, but we don't have the money. Me and him figured it was going to cost $250,000 to start it, and we're both kind of
chump change.
Oh, and then I had one more I was trying to start. This one was like 2 years ago. You guys know the Truly's drinks? The Truly brand drinks?
Mm-hmm.
Like the seltzer water.
Yeah.
So I wanted to start a, you guys know ice picks?
Yeah.
Ice picks. I love ice picks. So I wanted to create like an ice pick in a can. Something that's refreshing. You know what an ice pick is?
Yeah, it's a drink.
Unsweetened iced tea and vodka.
Yeah.
That's it. Just those two ingredients. So I was trying to, I thought it was a great drink, and I love drinking during the summer. I'm like, you know what? It'd be fucking good in a can. Like I would buy a 6-pack of that and put it in like.
Don't they already do that?
No,
you're
they're like
thinking
hard.
You're thinking of twisted tea or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Okay.
That's not vodka. First of all, it's a malt beverage, and they're also full of sugar and all kinds of terrible stuff.
Okay.
For you.
Fair enough. Keep going.
So I wanted to do that, and then I went in depth with that one. So I started pricing out what it would cost to do like a dry run and all this stuff, and then coming out, I need like $500,000 to get something started like that because you have to buy like 250,000 cans at a shot. So you got to really invest in the product and you got
to make
sell
it go.
So I learned a little about the beverage industry when I started doing that, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, you start talking money. Like I can handle $50,000, $100,000 investments. Like it doesn't scare me. Like it's not a big deal to me. But like when you start getting like $250,000, $500,000, that's when I'm like, all right, I need to go get investors and like do all that. Then I'm like, is it really that great of an idea?
Yeah.
So I dropped that. So when I had my anxiety breakdown, back to what you're saying, I was trying to start. I think it was 4, and I started a new job too. So like I have a new kid on the way. I had a lot going on, and then I had that fucking breakdown. I couldn't even control my mind. That was fucking scary as shit. And so I went on,
So what was the anxiety breakdown from? Do you think it was just like you're overstimulating, over revving the brain, and it just finally said, "I'm done," kaput?
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah,
because so it started out real slow. So I noticed it over the course of a week. So like every day it would just get a little bit worse, and it would go away. I'd like snap out of it, and then I woke up like one night, like I was going to that fucking training up for Regal, and I woke up and I knew I had like a 6-hour drive ahead of me. I didn't sleep at all. And sleep's like, it's the compound effect, right? So as you get worse with anxiety, you get less and less sleep, and then the less sleep you get, then you just fucking hit rock bottom. You can't get out of it.
Well, the less sleep you get, the more anxiety you get. It's like they compound together.
And you get anxiety worse than I do. So I had that breakdown, and then it took me, they said, I'm still on Lexapro, so I got to be on that for a year. So, I mean, they say that, Brittany and I were talking about it. She says that, like, a lot of that stuff that causes stress, like, it can take, if it took me a year, me and her think this has been a build-up for about a year and a half. That's what we agreed. Like, I was like, you know what, you're probably right, Britt. It's like the business has been stressing me out. My kid's a lot of work. And so we figured it can take, whatever it takes to build up, it can take that long to get back to get your hormones back to normal. So that's what the Lexapro is for.
Dude, I can't tell you how much.
And that's assuming you're fully on board with the recovery process.
Yeah, I'm
which
still
you are,
yeah.
but if you're not, it'll be longer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still all over the place. Like, I've calmed down a lot, but my mind still, like, runs. I mean, I don't know. I can't help it.
Yeah, you can't turn it off still sometimes. I can't tell you how much that keto diet helped with anxiety. It boatload.
I'm thinking of
just
sugar's a huge...
Sugar's massive. Yeah. Just sugar and, like, simple carbohydrates as well as, like, the caffeine. Dude, it's just like a even keel.
Yeah, that's what I need.
Feel all the time. Like there's no highs and lows. Like I've heard a lot of people say it's like, oh, like the energy levels are so much higher. I don't want to say they're so much higher. They just never go low. Like the way you have those like tired moments throughout the day, like 2:00 lull.
Yeah,
I just don't have that anymore. So it's like I'm not gonna say you're always up. That's not true. Like, I've had tough days where I'm tired. The worst is when you come out of ketosis and say you, like, Thanksgiving, I had sugar and, like too many potatoes. Like, I overdid it, and there was, like, corn, and I had that and some other stuff. Like, I definitely knocked myself out. Those next 2 days are awful. Like, you're just like... Oh my god! And you just feel like you're like walking in mud. Like it's like the worst hangover, but like you're just tired.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much just introducing the carbs again just makes you feel extremely wiped out. It's ridiculous. Yeah, that's the motivation enough to make you not want to eat the carbs because you're like, dude, it tastes good for 5 minutes, but I'll pay for that the next 2 days. You're like, I'll pass. Like,
you don't drink beer either, right?
I haven't. No.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
It fucking sucks. It's beer season.
I will tell you, drinking on carbs is not like without carbs is not. The drunk is not the same. Like you don't get as drunk as fast. It's a different drunk. It's not as a high energy drunk. It's more of just like oh yeah, I'm intoxicated now. Like,
well, your body's probably processing it faster, I would assume. But it goes into your bloodstream quicker.
I've heard two things about that. I've heard that like you get drunk quicker, and I've heard people say that you can drink longer. I noticed that you probably get tipsier quicker, but it's hard to say because I'm also drinking less. But at the same time, the drunk's not the same. Like, you don't have as much. You know how you get that energy spike when you're drinking? You're like, I'm ready to. You get a good 2 hours of window.
I usually only get that when I'm drinking liquor, though. If I'm drinking beer,
beer, I just go straight to bloated.
Super mellow.
Yeah, I just get sleepy when I drink beer anyway. So that doesn't.
I like beer.
I just like a beer with dinner, or going out. Let's have a beer or two.
See,
it's a nice casual.
See, I don't do that.
Well, you just
if I'm drinking, I'm drinking.
Right.
Like if Brittany and I go to dinner, I'll get iced tea if we're not going to drink. I'll be like, nah, I don't need a beer.
No, you and I always did have that same view on things. It's like, all right, I can either drink or I can eat. I can't do both.
Mm-hmm.
That's a waste of money.
Which one's it going to be?
Yeah, I'm not here to do both.
Well, I won't drink. I don't drink fluids when I'm eating. So like,
I don't really like
people
to.
are like, it pairs so well. I'm like, no, it tastes like shit. I'm literally got like buffalo wing sauce mixing with beer. It doesn't taste good to me.
No.
See, I don't understand that. I love having a good beer with like wings
See,
or whatever, man.
I hate it because it burns.
Mm-hmm.
When you drink that beer, it's like, I'm like, oh.
I agree.
You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah. So you're wrong, Justin.
teach their own.
2-1. I get it.
Teach their own.
But
I love it.
Okay, so you segued and you said,
Yeah.
I want to do this.
Yeah. So So when I was going through my counseling, whatever, like about a month in, 2 months in, I started getting a lot better. And I was like, I'm getting fucking bored. Like, I gotta do something. And him and I were talking. My therapist was like, well, what's one thing you would do if money wasn't an object or whatever? I said, you know what? I've been wanting to do financial coaching for like 3-4 years now.
Right.
I really like it. So because I was like coaching some of the guys at Fastenal that work for me, like just helping them like get things started. And then
is Charlie still doing Bitcoin?
No, he apparently got out of it, but I don't know.
Nah, keep going.
No, my brother's FaceTiming me. I'll get him back later. Yeah, but so I was in the session, or I'm in that session. I'm like, I'm gonna try financial coaching, and me and the coach were talking. He's like, the counselor's like, what's a startup and it's something like that. I'm like, well, I feel like I need some type of certification. So I did Dave Ramsey, and I've been following him for a couple of years.
So let's talk about that for a minute. How did you get the Dave Ramsey? How did you find out about that? I mean, I know you followed Dave Ramsey. That was Total Money Maker. Was the whole reason I read the book was because of you, and became a fan. And I think the advice that he gives in that book is fantastic and life-changing.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I talked about that extensively. But did you just latch on to Dave Ramsey because you agree with a lot of his philosophies and like his views, or was like you Googled like Dave Ramsey coaching? Like, how did you come up with I'm going to go with Dave Ramsey's program? You know what I mean?
Well, I've been listening to Dave Ramsey for 8-9 years. And
right.
I got introduced to him by Brittany's dad. It's my father-in-law. And it was one day, I was doing everything he preaches. So like, it wasn't like I had to read his book and be like, oh, I'm going to change my life. Like, I was doing all of it already.
Right.
So, debt free. I had fucking cash in the bank. The only thing, I started investing in my retirement. Like, I did all the stuff before I even started listening to the guy. And then, like, I started listening to him, and I listened to him straight for like 4 or 5 years, just like podcasts and like all of his books and stuff. And I really enjoyed it. It's good content. It's good material. And I'm a pretty conservative individual in general. Like, but like his teachings is a lot. It aligns with who I am. Like, very similar to like how I am. So like, it is what it is. Like, I don't need nice shit. Like, you know what I mean?
What's the certification process like for that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'll just finish. So I followed him for a couple of years, and then I actually stopped following him for like maybe a year or two, just because I was like, all right, I've learned enough. Like, I don't need to listen to him. I'm not learning anything new. So I stopped listening to him, and then after the thing happened, I found out that Dave offers you can become a certified coach with him. It costs $1,600. You do it online. It takes like a month to do, and then when you're done, you get the referral. You can sign up for the referral program, which is $79 a month.
So what's the
Wait, so those referrals are coming from that, not
Yeah.
from... Okay.
That the referrals I get, like I got 2 in the past 2 days.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I'm going to convert one. I'll talk about that in a minute. But so I get them. I get a bunch of them
Really?
for $80 a month, and I'm like part of this Facebook group chat. Like I can ask people questions that
I
are
thought
like
they were client referrals.
just. I've only got one so far of that.
Okay.
that was a client referral?
Huh?
Only one so
yeah,
far.
only
Client.
one, and she just signed up for a session on Monday.
Nice. Okay, so what was that? You know, just to beat up the process a little more. What you have to read a book? You watch some YouTube videos? Like, did he have?
It's all online.
It was all online.
Yeah,
So
it used to be. They just started going online in 2018.
you listen to like a seminar and then take a test on it, or what?
Yeah, no. So it's like it's 17 courses.
No, I'm just picturing him taking his test.
Yeah.
No. It's like 17 chapters, and it's just like it talks about like all the different things. Like you learn about like retirement and like how to deal with debt collectors and like how to coach people through things.
Okay.
So it's just aligning like your kind of coaching style a little bit. Now I don't.
So it was more on coaching than it was like your finances.
Yeah.
Like your understanding of finances. Let's go.
Yeah,
with that.
like you're not. Like it's not like an in depth of like what you should do, like as far as like, oh, this is what you have to do. It's not like a culty like that, but like I think it's more teaching you how to build like the foundational program that you're going to help people with. Like,
Right.
Like when someone sits down with me, how do I execute that plan with them and stuff? So I did that, and you can only get the referral business unless you take the master training course, right? And
Right.
and then you pay $80 a month. Well, I've paid $80. I'm only paying $50 right now, or no, I'm paying $80 right now. But so I probably get anywhere from 5 to 10 referrals a month at least from that.
Is it just based off location?
Yep. They type in a zip code, and it gives them the top 3 closest coaches, and then it's up to that customer. So I'll give you an example. This happened today in that hotel room. I got off the phone with the one client I was working with, and I got a referral yesterday, and I didn't answer because we were drinking, and I didn't want to just start calling her and like, I'm on the golf course.
You did the right thing.
Like, you know. So I called her when I got off that call, and she's like, hello, and I'm like, hey, it's Chris with CBM Coaching. You know, she's like, oh, well, I actually already signed up on an appointment with like another coach. I'm like, that's fine, no problem, no big deal. She's like, I'll tell you how it works. And I was like, look, you can pick whoever you want to work with. I mean, if you don't like me, that's fine. If you don't like the other guys, like, but you know, I'd be happy to, you know, spend a couple minutes. She goes, can you spend some time with me right now? I said, yeah, sure. I got 15, 20 minutes. I mean, I wouldn't do anything.
Right.
I was like, yeah, sure. So I ended up talking to her for like 15, 20 minutes. She broke down like what she's trying to do. The woman's trying to sell her house, and like she's put it on the market, and she doesn't need to, and all this stuff. And I'm like, I think you need to pump brakes a little bit and probably have a session at least with somebody. If it's on me, I was like, look, I have a 90-minute free session. And when they hear that complimentary free session, like it's been working. It's because like 15-minute calls, I'm gonna sell someone to pay $145 a month or something.
Right.
So I got her on a call. We have a Zoom video set up on Monday at 6:00. And she's like, all right, I'm going to try you out. I might talk to the other guy. I said, you can do that. Just remember, I was like, I did a really good job selling it to her in that 15 minutes because that's what I have to do. But I'm not like pushy. I'm like, look, you can do whatever you want, but this is what I do. And I walk them through the process. So she'll probably convert into a customer. I think she's going to. She needs help. I could tell by talking to her.
Like help with what? Like just.
So I'll give you like she's got $43,000 in credit card debt, $10,000 car loan.
That blows my mind.
And
Yeah.
the credit card debt is like to help pay for like her kids' college and shit. Like 7,000 of it's like paying for like tuition and housing and shit. So she's putting all this on like 18% credit cards. So she's like, well,
That makes me nauseous.
so she owes $53,000 in debt, and her house is worth about $400,000. She owes $270 on it still. She's got $130,000 in equity or something. She's like, we're going to sell our house, and we're going to pay off our debt, and we're going to rent. I was like, why? and like, I'm all about it. Don't get me wrong, but like, I'm like, well, where are you going to go rent? She's down the road, and I was like, how much is your rent going to be? She's like, $1,700. I'm like, what's your mortgage? She was $1,800. I'm like, that's retarded. Why would you?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Unless their house is going down the crapper for some reason.
No. And I was like, do you like where you live? She goes, I love the neighborhood. I love the house. I said, then don't sell it.
The one thing you have that's worth anything.
Yeah, the one thing with equity.
Yeah.
All right.
And they make $120,000 a year.
Oh, combined or
Combined, yeah.
Okay.
Between she told me.
Still, that's
but
not
here's
bad
the thing.
money.
If she told me,
can I have the Duke?
if she told me she made $50,000 a year, it may have been a different conversation. But because then I might be like, man, maybe you should. Maybe you can't afford your
Did you
house.
like it?
Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't realize it was John Wayne.
Is that what it is? The
Yeah.
Duke, yeah. So,
My grandpa was a big John Wayne guy.
Yeah, my dad is. All right, so you signed up the online thing. You did the classes. You got your quote-unquote certification.
you don't need a certification, by the way, to be a coach. You guys could claim you can create a website right now and start having business cards. You don't need a
I
certification.
have no business
But the
coaching somebody on financial anything.
The certification, though, is what got you the
Credibility, yeah.
referrals,
Yep.
though, right?
Yeah.
So you
I
pay
can tell
now.
people what not to do.
Yeah, can't tell them what to do. So the $75 a month basically is what gets you your referrals
Right now.
right now, right? And then you're hoping to build off of that and do your own
Yes. And I've already gotten one client referral, so
thing.
our first one
Hey,
last
it's a
week.
Start. So total, all in all, I'd say free sessions plus pays. And I know we talked about this, but let me just say, people that have reached out to you, and you said 3 months. How long have you been doing? I know you started 3 months ago, but how long have you been officially a quote unquote coach? Because obviously you had to start up the time taking the courses and blah blah blah. How long have you been?
4 months.
4 months.
I started the coaching program like January 15th.
No, that's what I'm saying. How long has it been done officially a coach? My name's out there.
February 2nd.
February 2nd.
Yep.
Okay, so between that time, how many people have you talked to? Free sessions and all.
I've probably done 10, and I've probably talked to 15 to 20 people.
15 to 20 people.
But in the very beginning, the first 2 months, I was trying to get like them to commit. Like, oh, all right, well, my service is $145 a month, and they're like, what? That's stupid. Like, and I wasn't offering the free complimentary session, and then so you got to think about it. Like, and
They
then
didn't know what they were
You got
getting.
to sell it.
Yeah, and you can't sell it in 15 minutes.
Right.
Like, they don't know who the fuck I am. Like, I'm some random guy that you, like, called you from a website referral, like, and you're going to pay me $145 on some website. Like, that's not going to happen. So that's when I moved over the complimentary session, I'm starting to get more, like, I've got 4 complimentary, 90-minute complimentary sessions scheduled in the next 2 weeks, which is pretty good for I think.
Yeah.
And I bet I'll probably convert 2 of them, I would imagine. One of them is a referral, so I know I'm going to convert her. That's probably a guarantee. The other one sounds pretty promising, too. Yeah. So now the first 2 clients I have right now, they both, the 2 I have right now, they both signed up without the 90-minute session. So I actually convinced them to pay
Right up
the
front.
fee up front,
Wow.
which is fine, but they were a little more. Just the one woman was my first. She was my first referral I got. I called her. I was nervous. I didn't know what the fuck I was going to talk about. Pretty easy once you get into it.
Right.
And it took me 2 months to land. Kept following up with her, and finally she signed up with me. I was more than both the other coaches, and she went with me.
Oh, this is the lady that you were telling me about. Okay.
And now she wants me. She just paid me $250
do the business
to
too.
do the business now. So now she wants me to do her personal and business. Now I've got 2 clients out of 1, and I haven't decided how I'm going to charge for business. But yeah, I don't know if that's going to be different or not. We'll play it by ear.
So let's talk about your demographic then. What kind of people are you seeing? I mean, in my mind, when you think of a financial coach, you're thinking like, obviously they're going to be bad with money, but do they generally have no money?
No, they have money. They just don't know what the fuck they're doing with it.
Yeah.
I've had one client that I met. I did meet this one woman, and I actually I told her I would. I called her and told her I was thinking about maybe coaching her for free for like the referrals and like the references and stuff. She truly didn't have any fucking money. I literally told her stop paying her credit cards.
Wow.
She couldn't even pay her fucking mortgage. I said, stop paying fucking credit card companies. What are you doing? Take care of your mortgage. Take care of your food. Get your transportation going. Fuck those credit card companies. Let it go. She's like, what about my credit? I'm like, fuck your credit. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, if you're talking about not having a house to live in.
Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
You're worried about a bullshit number, and the only thing that number's based upon is how well you borrow money.
Exactly.
That's all fucking credit score is. That's all it is.
That's the thing that always blows my mind is the more money you have in the bank is really more than what your credit score is. Because they're like, question 1, what's your credit score? Question 2, how much money's in the bank?
Yeah.
You could have the best credit score in the world, and if you only got like $2,000 in the bank, they're like,
Dude, it's crazy. Like, when Brittany and I were, even...
Not a couple of years ago. That's what happened.
Yeah, it is what it is. Like,
True.
They'd give money to anybody.
But it's crazy to me how people...
George Busher.
Right? It's crazy, like, how people, they put this fucking credit score on, like a pedestal. I'm like, what? I didn't even... Dude, when I was a kid, like, I didn't give a fuck about my credit score. Now everyone's like, oh, I got a great credit score. And you know what my credit score... My credit score is like a 900. I don't even fucking try to get it up.
That was the funny thing about you getting that van.
What van? Oh, my minivan? Yeah,
Yeah.
I did go against my grain on that. That's why I'm trying to pay it off as fast.
No, I'm just saying, like, your credit score going into that.
Probably,
like,
yeah,
You didn't
I
even,
mean-
like, have one,
No,
basically.
I didn't have one at all. The van, like, whatever. So...
But you build it up really quick. Is
Yeah,
my
so
point.
the reason I bought the minivan is I went through like a phase there where I was like going against my, like, I was starting to question what I've always debt free. I started questioning it, like, it's like, fuck it, it's just interest, whatever. And then I was like, let's get what's wrong? What's wrong with it, right? So I went and bought a fucking minivan, and I spent $23,000 on it, and we were just gonna like. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. I was in a weird stage. That was right around my anxiety breakdown when I had all this stuff going on. So it is what it is. Maybe that's what caused my anxiety. Is I bought a minivan with credit.
No, that was before the minivan, dude.
But anyway, so
yeah, but now you got a vehicle for your wife and 2 kids
Yeah.
that you don't have to worry about. Well, maintenance, not maintenance free, but it's not going to give you any issues at least for a few years.
At the time, we had the cash to pay for the van in cash. So, but we were saving for a house.
Right.
So we were like, fuck. Well, we want to get a house. And we're like, all right, well, how long is that going to hold us back from buying a house? And then I was like, all right, fuck it. Let's just finance the damn thing. So we put $5,000 down. And then I was like, you know what? The fact that I have the money in the bank to pay it off, like, all right, well, whatever. We'll just do it. And if I need to, I will.
So what's the big thing that you see with these customers, like these clients? Like, is it typically credit card debt? They have a lot of income, but they don't know how to manage it. Is it they're just, I assume they're obviously bad with money, right?
Yeah. So what's happened is if they've gotten themselves in such a rut, like the one client has 12 credit cards.
12 credit cards.
12 credit cards.
How much credit card debt?
Is there not a limit? Like, you can just have as many credit cards as
she
you want.
probably has awesome credit, like A1 credit.
Dude, she's always late on shit too. Like, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, just
So she's paying late fees. She's paying all this interest.
You know,
your interest rate goes up to the max when you have late fees.
You know, she said to me the other day, she goes, she paid her house bill on time for the first time in like years when we're coaching with me. Because I told her, your main goal, your first goal with me is you need to pay everything on time. This is ridiculous. Like, you need to get mature with this shit. She paid her house. She goes, I'm paying on time. Chris, I'm getting like a $40 discount. I'm like, it's because you're not being charged a fucking fee. It's not a discount.
Discount double check. Rogers! Rogers!
And she looked at me with this smart ass. I gave her like a smart ass, and she just started laughing at me. She goes, Chris, you're right. I'm like, yeah, just pay your fucking shit on time. Like, it's not that hard. So, anyway, so it's mostly like credit card. I haven't seen the car situation. Hasn't been. I actually was surprised. I thought people were gonna have more car debt, but it hadn't been as bad. It's credit cards.
Credit cards.
People fucking have $15,000, $20,000 on credit cards. I've been paying it off for years, paying 18%, making minimum payments.
That I cannot. Ugh.
I did that at 18.
Yeah, I mean,
put $3,000 on a credit card and never wound up paying it off.
Think about it this way, like, and
she gone.
So, like, I put it this way, like, if you're gonna pay, think about if you pay $50 a month. People are like, it's only $50 a month, and that's all I'm paying in interest, right? If you were to invest that $50 a month over the course of how long people hold credit cards for, like, you're a millionaire.
Yeah.
It's just like another change of thought. Like, you're just trying to change perspective of how we deal with money. I'm not saying it's the right way, but it's just the way that I think just makes most sense.
So debt-free, not doing the credit card deal, not doing a lot of loans.
Yeah, because think about it. What another downturn is going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't want to be. I think I was telling you this today. I was like, I just don't want. If I lose my job, like, I want to be able to, like,
float.
Yeah. Think about it. People are so over leveraged.
Yep.
And you wouldn't even know. I think it's 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck or something. I don't have the exact statistic.
That's disgusting.
It's pretty fucking sad.
what's like around 50% that don't have $500 in their bank account.
Mm-hmm.
Sean McGuire.
Yeah, definitely Sean McGuire. Sorry, Sean, for hearing this, but yeah, you're a dumbass.
Sean's like, I got $500 on the Giants tonight, baby.
Yeah, he's like,
if I don't win that, I ain't eating tomorrow.
Yeah, Sean will be like, it's fine. I got a bookie that owes me like $3,000. I'm gonna get it from him. He's in the other side of the country, but it's coming.
He out there
The money's
breaking
coming.
kneecaps?
Yeah.
How's he getting this money?
I don't know.
I mean, he is Italian, so.
I remember when he started gambling, like on that website. He's like, "Yeah, it's been like 3 months. The guy called me, said he was going to pay me." And I was like, "What kind of operation is this?" And he ended up getting his money, but like, I was like, "You're a fucking idiot." But he likes that shit, whatever. I guess.
Dude,
So,
he is.
we all
He's
have our-
worse than Ryan.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, Ryan's bad, but he does quarter slots. Like, how deep can you get into a quarter slot? Like,
Ryan likes blackjack.
Oh, Ryan. Who are you talking about?
Cook.
Oh, I'm talking about Ryan Overholtzer.
No, not Overholtzer.
Okay.
Cook really liked.
But people owe the IRS a lot. People don't do their taxes right. So, like, one guy just owed money to IRS. So that was a big one.
I didn't do my taxes for 6 years. Yep.
Are you serious?
Hold
yeah,
on. Hold
didn't
on.
do my taxes for 6 years.
Hold on. You didn't do your taxes. You didn't pay taxes.
Didn't do them.
So you don't know if you owed or needed to be received or not.
So,
Well, you just did them, right?
it's been 4 years ago when I did them. I was like 27.
Oh, so from 21 to 27, you didn't do them.
It was basically from the time we lived in State College,
Okay.
probably 22, 23, till I was about 27, 28.
I'm trying to think. There might be a year or two in there. I didn't do mine either.
I didn't do my taxes, and I basically went into H&R Block, had like 5 years worth of stuff, and sat it down there. And with the amount that the IRS owed me, and then I owed them with late fees and stuff, it almost balanced out. I had to cut a check for like
Is it a good
$1,000.
idea to put on YouTube that you didn't pay your taxes for 6 years?
They know about it.
I might have you cut out my produce talk.
I can't. Yeah.
I do hear that, like, if it's after 7 years, they can't come after you. I've heard that. They can't look back on anything after 7.
Is that the statute? Probably.
I've heard
maybe.
that, but who the fuck knows? There was a time there where the IRS was offering any business that would come forward. This was like, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago. If you came forward as a business and said, I haven't paid taxes ever, and now I want to claim my business, they would not charge you back taxes. It was just to get people to come forward and start paying taxes. So that would have been a good time to do it. But I'm not. It's fine.
Call Amazon.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I don't even know where I was, but yeah, it's a good thing though. But like, that's not really the main reason why I got into it. Is I've seen what it's done for me.
Yeah.
Over the course of, I've only been investing for 8 years, and I'm like, oh shit, this works.
So you're investing in like 401ks,
Yeah.
IRAs.
Yeah, get your match through company organizations, and I'm like, I mean,
What else do you invest in? Like, I know, do you have a Roth and Brittany has a Roth? You both have your own Roths?
Brittany and I both have Roths, and then we both have 401ks with work. And
Okay.
those are pretty much like our main investments for the most part. We had some investments outside of that, but
I'm sorry, what'd you call that? Mermaid?
mermaid?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
You said mermaid investment?
A mermaid?
What did you say?
Our main investment. Main investment? I don't know. I didn't say mermaid.
I heard mermaid.
I heard mermaid too, but I was like,
All right, well,
I fucked
Like,
up.
shit, I need to know about
Yeah.
these mermaid
I need to know about it too.
I got an aerial over
So-
here.
So what happened was I started realizing like the power. I really started to understand the power compound interest probably like 2 or 3 years ago is when I really started understanding it, and that's when I was like, holy fuck, like people need to start today.
Yeah. So you had, Dave Ramsey as a big influence. Who else do you follow a lot? I mean, I know you're on Grant Cardone there for a while,
Yeah, I stopped watching him.
but who else? I mean,
I had to take a break from him. I've been listening to fucking Steve Harvey lately. I fucking love him.
I'll tell you what, I love Steve Harvey. He's awesome.
And Dr. Phil. I've been enjoying Dr. Phil's podcast. He's got something that's it's It's pretty decent.
Yeah, I've heard about
He's
it.
actually pretty. I thought Dr. Phil was always like some host, like hoax or something, like not really professional. I didn't really
Like
understand.
Jerry Springer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
No, he's legit.
But
Yeah.
actually, like
He's a legit
he's
doctor.
fucking legit, and he knows his shit.
Yeah.
And I thought his show was always over the top, but like those are real people. Like they're not like
Yeah.
faked. And that's just been recent. And then I listen to like I like obviously I like
Is
Joe.
it financial discussions there that they're having? Like Steve Harvey.
No, this
think
is
so.
just life stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, and then like as far as finances go, like, I haven't been listening to a ton.
Steve
of
Harvey's super successful, but I mean, you and I did the whole like, we listened to some, sales audiobooks there for a while, and then what else did we do? That book, Latte Factor.
Yeah, that's a good. My one of the best books I read was Automatic Millionaire. Chad told us about that. I love that book. And actually, I really started liking that, just automating everything.
Really changes your mindset. Are you advising that to like your clients and stuff?
When they get out of debt. Like,
Okay, so your first focus is out of debt.
Absolutely.
Second focus is, all right, what are we doing with your money?
yeah, let's get your money on track. But right now, we're getting you out of debt. There ain't
Okay.
no, I mean, and I'm not like a dick about it. Like if somebody want like Dave's like a cult thing. Like it's not cold, but like he's got good stuff. But people are like other coaches like you got to follow it to a T, and I'm like I don't know, man. Like it's not my style.
How
Like,
many of these people come to you though and expect you to throw out like within 5 years you're going to have $100,000 in the bank?
Yeah.
because they see those stupid infomercials on
Get
TV.
rich quick. Everybody wants
Yeah.
that.
Right.
I mean, I tell people I'm
Like,
like
it took you 20 years to get into debt like this.
Yeah.
You're not getting out of it in 5 years.
yeah. I mean, I think like my one client. I have one client that'll be out, and he'll be out in probably a year. He's got 13,000 left, and I think he'll be out in a year. So 1 year he'll be out, and then he'll be. So I'll work him through putting like a wealth building plan of like, and it's not. I'm not like overcomplicated. It's real simple. It's like the goal. What's the biggest expense in your life? What's the biggest expense?
Mortgage,
What do you think it is?
hands down.
For me, it's definitely a mortgage.
Taxes. You don't
Oh.
think you never think about
Yeah.
that.
Well, that's
I know, right? But
That's-
but I know what you're saying.
it's
but
an expense that you don't have a choice on.
exactly because
I mean, that's
the
what, 30
government's the mafia.
That's 30%
Yeah,
of
they
our
are.
income, right?
Yeah. So think about it, right? And that's something like you really need to think about. So that's why like those investment vehicles of like the 401ks and the Roths and stuff. So they're vehicles to help get around taxes and stuff to help you build wealth without paying. Like you're going to pay tax. Don't get
Yeah,
me
I was
wrong.
going to say, inevitably you're taxed
But-
on it, right?
Yeah, but like so the 401k.
So
It's-
hold on. Explain to me the difference between a Roth and an IRA,
Yeah,
because
It's fine.
I kept getting this mixed up with my investor. I'm like, wait, what? Roth?
Roth is after you pay taxes.
Right. So it's post-tax. You
Post-tax.
put into it from your bank account.
Yes.
A regular IRA is pre-tax,
Yes.
and then when you draw on that later,
Yes.
taxes will come out later.
Yes.
So doesn't it make more sense then to do a Roth, because
Yes.
taxes inevitably is just like anything; it's just going to go up,
Yes.
right?
You should be you both should be doing a Roth. You guys can each do $6,000 a year.
Yeah, we are doing a Roth. But I want to do what you and Brittany do, where you do the max.
Do you have your computer?
Is there a difference
I'll
in
show you.
who you do them through?
No, you just need to do it in like a good investment like portfolio. Like that's so that aspect is something that like when someone comes to me and they're like, "What should I invest in?"
Yeah.
I can give you like the high level. Like, all right, this is what you should be doing. But like when I'm not going to tell them to go like invest in the S&P 500 or anything
Right.
like that. I send them. I'll refer them to like an investment advisor or something.
Right.
If that's the case. It's not my job. Like I'm not certified to do it, and nor do I claim I am to be. But I'll just put it in like a good growth stock mutual fund within like, or a good mutual fund inside of like so when your 401ks, you guys have options. Like you're very limited with what you can do with your work 401ks.
Right.
Like with Command, like you have certain,
Right.
you have a couple programs and that's it. But when you go into like when you roll it over to like another like a traditional IRA out of your work, there's a ton of different investment opportunities, like different packages you can put it in. And generally speaking, you work with a firm, they try to make you 8-10%.
Yeah.
I mean, 1 year I made 22% of my money. That's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, our financial advisor handles the
Yeah,
Kate's
so like
401k.
as far as all that intricate little detail stuff, like that stuff's just not like I'm not going to talk about returns and things like that, but yeah, I just know high level stuff.
Well, there's no guarantees in that stuff, and what you're trying to do is get people out of debt and get them on the right path. So really,
do
that doesn't
something.
fit your model anyway.
I'm just changing people's plans,
right.
changing their habits. That's all I'm doing. Like, I'm not going to get people rich. I can show them the path, and who knows? The economy might go to shit, and we all might lose our money in 30 years. I don't fucking know, but I'm just doing what's working.
Yeah.
And I don't know what other investment strategy I'm going to do besides buy property, which maybe one day I will, but, that's where I'm at. So, I mean, if you guys, I highly recommend the Roth. And if you look at it on, if you were to look at it on like this, a tool, there's a calculator that'll tell you if you save 12, so pretty nice, do $12,000 a year.
Right.
And if you do the math on it, we'll have like just the Roth IRA, we'll have like $5 million just in the Roth. Now think about this. We don't pay taxes on that. That all grows tax free.
Yeah, it's pure money.
Pure money.
So it goes in post tax, but it grows tax free.
Yes.
That's
and
fantastic.
so a 401k your work, you're putting in pre-tax, right? And then your employer's matching it, and it grows over the course of 40 years. But when you start drawing from it, you pay your going tax rate. So who the fuck knows what tax rate?
Well, there's penalties if you pull out early,
10%.
Yeah.
And then you
That's
pay
what she said.
on top of the taxes.
Yeah, so generally
Right.
speaking, if you're in a 25-30% tax bracket, if you pull your money, like a lot of people will pull money out to go buy like a car. So let's say they pull $50,000 out to pay for a car. Essentially, they're paying like 40% interest on their money to go take a car loan because you're paying the taxes on it,
Yeah.
and then you're paying a 10% penalty. So would you borrow money at 40% interest? No, you wouldn't fucking do it. It's a terrible decision to make.
Never.
So, yeah, I mean, dude, it's fucking crazy, and that's what I got into it. I was like, I started seeing like. There's a couple ways to build wealth, and in my mind, like
That's a stiff one.
A lot of ice melted.
Just
Maybe.
watered down.
Damn.
Or I just go hard in the paint.
So, I just found out the other day. You're struggling with that microphone.
no, I'm just playing.
Yeah. Just trying to find that right height.
Yeah,
Um.
Can't sit in the same position for like an hour. Like
Yeah.
you eventually gotta.
Yeah.
we're good. It's working though.
So, my 401k through work, they don't do a match.
That sucks.
Yeah, it does.
That sucks
From
because
the
that's
command, they
that's a
match
nice
5%.
That's good.
I got like
5 is high.
I got like $4 or $5 grand. I got like $4 grand a match last year with command for just putting fucking money in, dude.
Yep.
What do they offer? Why don't even use their 401k then? What's
Yeah.
the point?
That's why I didn't.
Go
I think
do
I'm just going to go do everything.
They don't offer a match. I feel like my dad's company offers a fucking match, and he's like some old farm boy.
I mean, this is coming from my boss, so that's coming from my boss. So I better look into that
Right.
myself
you might
because
wanna,
he doesn't know whatever's going on ever.
you might want to look into that because I'm surprised.
Yeah, they don't offer a match, but just give me the money and I'll make sure it gets in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Nah.
yeah, I mean, you should definitely invest in. I mean, if you can do it, I think you should. That's why I get on you about it, right?
Yeah.
I can tell you guys right now, if you're going to do anything, you should do your match. 100%.
Well, I do my match.
First thing you should be doing is a Roth. You should be maxing out a Roth, then do your traditional IRA, your pre-tax.
Yeah. So right now we're just dumping into one.
Yeah.
We have a regular traditional Roth. We have the IRA Roth, and then the
Pull your computer up real quick.
she has 401k.
I can do it on my phone. I can
I
do it on my phone.
I do my match, but the other thing I do is I do the stock option program. I don't know if I'm going to continue to do that, though, because I don't really see command stock on.
I think it should go down.
I've got over $1,000 in stock.
Do you?
Yeah.
I never did the stock
Because
option.
I put $20 in per paycheck.
You get 15% discount, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty nice. I'm not doing it.
So what's that? A year and a half, 18 months, 20. So I've put basically $400 in, and I've got $1,000 in stock.
Yeah, that works. Shit.
Yeah.
Make sure you cash it out.
Oh well.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
No, I mean, because their stock's probably going to go down. How old are you?
Yeah, they're for sale right now.
How old are you, Justin?
Command's for
32.
sale.
Command's for sale? What?
Well, there's talk. Didn't you hear one of the guys brought it up yesterday? No. That wasn't. That was Friday when I was at the branch. One of the guys in there brought it up. Apparently, there's some big European company that's looking at buying them. Apparently, nothing's official.
Great.
Like they're not for sale.
Yeah.
But
Great. Finally, like company, I get like all this freedom was going to go away.
right,
we're gonna have fucking GPS systems. And I might as well take a $140,000 a year job.
Yeah.
So how? Let's say you're 32, right?
Yep.
Okay. So let's say you have $0 saved at the moment for retirement in a Roth. Okay. And let's say you and your wife you max it out, which is $12,000 a year between the two of you.
Yep.
So it ends up being $1,000 a month. Okay. Let's say that the S&P is roughly down about 12% over the course of 30 years. Okay. 12% is high. It's probably more like 8-10%.
Yeah.
Be realistic. So I'm gonna put it at 10% just for shits and giggles. If you started today, Justin, at age 67, that's how much money you'd have in that account.
$1,000 a year or $1,000 a month
$1,000 a month.
420 growth.
between the two of us.
So look at that growth number real quick, okay?
Right, but between the two of us.
Yeah,
Not just
you
my
get
own.
6,000 per person, so you can do.
You contribute
Yep.
420,000.
Yep.
And growth is 3.1 million.
Look at that, and you pay zero taxes on that growth.
88% of your total
Yep.
is growth because of compound interest.
So the earlier you start, the less.
Well, let me ask you this. So right now, we don't have anything as far as a Roth or any of that goes, but we are putting a finite amount into savings every single month.
Are you investing it?
Right now, it's just going into a savings account.
Okay.
And from there, we've been told to go see. Her mom works for Edward Jones, so we need to go and talk to the advisor there, and
Okay.
he's going to give us some help and not charge us. But at the same time,
Not going to
That's
charge
all-
you, but he's going to get them.
right, exactly.
Get them.
Like he's going to have our money, right? So that's the whole idea. Like that, I kind of not a big fan of.
It's worth it.
But end of the day, yeah, we definitely need to start moving on some of those.
Let's go
But we also talked about sitting down with you. We just haven't done any of it yet because
Well, you're getting all the information you need now.
I'm working on my house for.
And this is a free session, Justin.
With what we have,
I would charge.
Is this one of the 15-minute ones or a 90?
This is probably this is gonna be like a 2.5 hour one.
with what we have through the financial advisor, I'm just married into whatever Kate was doing.
So she already had that established with whoever you guys use now.
Yeah. So I'm just picking up, and we started investing more 2-3 months ago.
Thrilled to have you on board.
How much cash do you have saved to invest? This is invest in money, right?
Yeah,
Okay. How much you got?
25 grand.
You have 25 grand in cash sitting right now for investing.
Mm-hmm.
You need to invest it. How much do you have in an emergency fund? Do you have an emergency fund?
Not like
3 to 6 months of expenses. 10,
Yeah.
15 grand. Okay. And then take the rest and go put in investments. And then what you're going to want to do is you do not want to just let the money sit in an account and then put it all in at once. Okay. You want to do dollar cost averaging. So you want to be doing it every month. Because you're going to buy in. You're going to put, let's say you put 10, 15 grand in. Well, let's say the market's really fucking high right now.
He's laying on thick now.
well, and you're saying an emergency fund. Like where's this money sitting?
Yes. So the
In the hospital.
emergency fund, whatever.
In a mattress.
So
In the basement.
just have a savings account. Just have a savings account. Put 10, 15 grand there. Me and Brittany keep 10, 15 grand all times in it. And like it fluctuates. It might be 10, it might be 15. We always build back up 15 if we
Right.
can. That's strictly like your transmission goes up in your car. You need you have a flood in your basement. You got to like fix it up or whatever. And then you should be investing every other dollar outside of that into some level of investment because your money's you're earning zero fucking interest right now.
Right.
And the economy's fucking booming right now, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking 12-15% returns right now. Like you're missing out on some really nice growth, and that's what I'm saying about dollar cost averaging. So the market's hitting pretty hard right now, and you might put 10, 15 grand in, but the market might be really high, and it might fucking take a dump. But the key is dollar cost averaging is just continuing a consistent strategy of a certain amount every month over month. Because what you're doing is you're buying in at really low times, you're buying in really high. Sometimes you buy in really high, sometimes you buy in really low. But that's why it's called dollar cost averaging. At the end of the day, it's a better strategy than trying to time the market or anything.
Right.
So you always want to be putting in. Even dude, when the economy takes a shit, like it's going to, it will continue to put in because you're gonna be buying fucking these high end stocks. You're gonna be buying in at cheap, and it's just gonna come back. It will.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't let money. I would probably like go take 15 grand and 10, 15 grand go invest.
The only way you could get fucked is if something happens like what happened in the George Bush area, where like you try to cash out in your 401k your IRA and the stock market basically crashes and takes a shit, you lose like all your money. So like you have to wait for it to recoup. So once it recoups, you're going to get all your money back quick, but it has to be at that point in time in your life when you can afford to let it recoup. Because if you can't, that was actually the thing I saw. That was a documentary I was watching. Some 90-year-old guy had to like go get a job begging groceries. He was like working at some local.
He pulled all his fucking money out, didn't he?
Yeah, it had something to do with the way the crash happened at the time, and he got just jacked. Dude lost his.
Dude, so Justin, people during that downturn, like they pulled all their money out.
Yeah, you cannot.
So
pull
you
it
can't
out.
do that. You got to ride it out. So like, I'll give you an example. Like, it was maybe a couple months back. Maybe it was a little bit before. Like, I looked at the market took a dump. I lost like 20 grand. But it comes back. You can't get emotional about it.
Right.
You got to just be under like when you start investing for retirement, like you don't even want to look at it. Just understand you're not going to touch it for 40 fucking years. 30 years. Just understand
I just don't understand that mentality. Like, not yours, but to pull that money out. Like, it's not like you're relying on that money to pay your mortgage next week.
It's fear. The stock market it's kind of weird because like a lot of it's ran by fear and like
totally
it's what it is. Like people are projecting that something's going to go up, right? Like that's why they're putting the money in,
like
or it's going to go down.
Like the people that bought into Bitcoin when it hit its peak and then it went down. Like
people lost 50%
a lot of money. Actually sold when it was like at
8,000,
half of what it was.
Yep.
Like, you're in it to win it. If you bought it at its peak, just ride it out at that point.
The crazy thing about the economy in a whole is it's just a general feel and idea. It's nothing else besides how people feel. So you're spending money, economy's good. You feel like, I need to save, economy's bad. But
let's be honest, money's fake anyway. Like they just print more every day. So
it's just a piece of paper.
Means nothing.
It's just all money is what money is. It's trust. So like if you look at
you
look up what monetary like dollars are and what it is, it's trust. That's really what it is. It could be. These glasses could become our trading value. It doesn't fucking matter. It's just a piece of paper of trust. That's all it is. But that's why everyone's making a big deal about like Bitcoin. Is like they say that's we're going to move to that monetary system, and it might happen one day, but it's going to take generations. Like you think about it, like something like that might happen, but think about how many people need to get on board for something like that to happen.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it'll evolve over time. I don't even know if it'll ever become anything. But
what are the chances, though, that our current financial structure implodes and we're forced to move to a model like that?
I don't know. That's what's happening. That's what happened in Venezuela.
Well, right.
I mean,
and one of the guys that I see, like I don't work with him, but I see him on a regular basis, and that's his opinion. Is like he's invested, and it's not just Bitcoin; it's all the digital currency. I think there's Litecoin, there's something else, but.
Ripple.
Yeah, he invests. He's got like a whole app on his phone that shows all the digital currencies and what they're currently trading at and all that fun stuff. And he's solidly convinced that by the time he's ready to retire, that will be our financial system.
I mean,
and I'm not trying to say this guy does or does not know what he's talking about, but he's pretty convinced of it, and I can't say he's wrong in the reasons he's citing for why he thinks our current system would crash.
I don't know.
But to your point, there's too many people completely bought into that system for it to just go away.
Yeah, I mean,
like end of the day, what our national debt's already
it's like
14 trillion.
No,
or something.
It's 22.
Is it
like 22 or 23?
Super.
Yeah. Actually,
at that when it gets that, it's what is it even? Who do we owe it to? Like who's
China,
nobody's expecting to get that money.
This is
Steve probably knows it better than I do. This is Steve's alley, right?
The crazy thing about the national debt is it's a bunch of bogus bullcrap. So like what people completely forget about is all the countries and what they owe us. Do you have any idea how much money Germany owes us from World War II?
Really?
England owns us from World War II. France. It's basically like when we send over troops, which is what we do all the time, we're basically writing a check and saying, you're going to owe us. It's not like we're just like, oh, we feel bad, we should send troops. No, we don't do that. We're exchanging lives for money, basically. It's like, yeah, our national debt was like, how many an hour? Meanwhile, these countries owe us a shit ton of money. That's, dude, it's retarded. When you look into what other countries owe us,
that's a live number.
It's a live number.
And it just keeps going up.
It goes, I think it said it goes up $4 billion a day or something like that.
I'm pretty sure we owe basically China, and that's it.
Yeah, probably. I don't know enough about that, like, to even talk about it.
Okay,
I have no idea.
I really don't understand how that. What's the point in even keeping track of this? Clearly, we're never paying that down.
So I actually,
it's just getting out of control.
It does out of control. I mean, it's been there forever.
But
what's the point?
I'm just saying, look into what other countries.
They might as well
us.
erase it. It's just a number on a piece of paper. Well, not paper, but.
So something I'm watching this. It's like a mini series called Traders. It's actually on Netflix right now, and it's basically what happens.
That like stressed me out looking at that. Like how
it's like
it's crazy, man.
But it's basically immediately like the day after World War II. And it's basically England is all meeting together, and they're like. There shows a lot of like scenes of them in Parliament. They're arguing. They're basically like, dude, the U.S. has us by the balls because they're basically just sending us this huge, bill saying you owe us all this money. They're like talking about it like we're not going to be able to pay this off ever. But it's just like my point is how all these other people. So like when we're sending people troops, it's not like it's like.
Well, that would explain why
yeah.
The Nazis infiltrated our country and created NASA and.
Thanks, Alex Jones.
You're welcome.
Pass me the Duke again. I like the Duke. But yeah, that's it's funny how the economy works like that.
How do we tie that to my bank account so it just keeps going up?
Just get a penny of it like every time it
right.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like Office Space.
Just get to work, Justin. Just sell some more fucking parents. But yeah,
so you think stock market crashing not really going to affect that? So what I'm doing is, did you ever hear of a Patriot Fund?
No, never heard of it.
Something in the S&P 500 that it's and this is if you're trying to save money like you are for a house, this is what Kate and I do. It's like instead of putting a savings account, it's tax-free money. Mm-hmm. So when we pull from it, I think we have to pay on the gains in our taxes. So, like, for instance, we did it this year. I had to claim what we pulled out on our taxes.
Whatever your gains, if you have gains.
Yes, the gains. That was it. And it's TD Ameritrade, so, like, that's what they do it through. So you get, like, a statement, and basically you just put in on TurboTax, I put in, like, the account number, and it just populated it all and told me what, what the balance was. But it's basically like kind of like a mutual fund, but not. Because the way a mutual fund gets charged to make trades, they charge you per trades. A Patriot Fund doesn't charge as much trades, so like he divvies it out a lot, and then cycles it basically to keep trying to make more money. And he gets paid obviously off of the the commissions and the growth, so there's incentive in it for him. So like, but that's what we do as our savings account. So it's like. That's how we were able to buy this house. So
was your $25,000 for a down payment on a house? Is that what you're using that money for?
No, it wasn't determined for anything at this point.
Now, conversation.
Now, what we're really moving towards is the equity that we currently have in our home should be at the point if we stick to our 3-year plan where that would be our down payment and that would be sufficient to 20%, so that we don't have a PMI.
Yeah. So, like, I guess the rule of thumb would be no less than 10% down. 20% is ideal.
Because in 3 years, we should be able to get $100,000 out of our house.
Oh, there you go. So then you should be able to buy, what, $500,000 home?
Yeah.
You should really just bang down on that mortgage.
We're already overpaying on it. We have been for like a year and a half, 2 years. But
you can't get the PMI off, right?
Because it was USDA. We didn't realize that when we got into it. Yeah, so
it's part of the clause.
USDA.
Why don't you refinance that motherfucker?
Well, we thought about it, but
how much you paying a month in the PMI?
It's like $80, I think.
That's not as bad. Crazy.
Yeah, what's your interest rate?
We got when we bought our house, dude. the market was kind of down, but interest rates were like better than they had been in forever. I think we're at like
Yeah, don't touch it.
mid to
Yeah,
high
you're good.
threes.
Yeah.
I don't remember
Let it
exactly. I want
ride.
to say 3.7.
I mean, I just financed 4.5, so that gives you an idea.
yeah.
Just stay there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they were honestly right before we bought our house. They were at like 3.3, and then by the time we bought our house, they'd gone up like 2 or 3 points, but we still got it like 3.6, 3.7, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, just keep that.
Yeah.
Keep that and pay it down. Do you know how much you still owe?
Yeah, we man, I think like $140. I think we've got
Dude,
like 30 grand.
How
in
much you guys
equity
make?
right
How
now.
much you guys make a year between the two of you?
$140.
You guys should have that house paid off in like 5 years.
Oh, we could. Well, now that we're on the trajectory we are, we really could sit down and put a plan together to make that happen.
Think about like you'll be think about being like 37 years old and never having a mortgage payment ever again.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty sweet to me.
No, that'd be unbelievable.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty sweet.
What?
See, you're already on a good path.
What's the calculation there? Like, I get confused sometimes with how you factor into the principal with where the interest is at and all that.
What do you mean?
Like what? How much over percentage wise are you paying on your mortgage to pay it off in the time frame you want to pay it off?
Well, we're gonna end up doing. So I got a 30 year, and I'm trying to pay it off. It's an audacious goal, but I want to pay it off by age like 40. But I don't think it's gonna be pretty tough. But I'm gonna try. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna try to pay it off. My goal is to pay it off in 15 years. I wanted to do it as a 15-year, but I'm not doing any extra payments right now until my minivan's paid off.
Yeah.
Because that's $335 a month, and I just hate it. So
Yeah.
I got like $12 grand left to pay on that, and then I'll have that knocked out hopefully by middle of summer, and then I'll start making. Because if you look up an amortization schedule, like I don't know if you've ever done this, but like in the very beginning of a mortgage,
It's
like
all interest.
So
Yep.
principal, throw as much
man.
as you can towards
We,
principal.
I mean, literally, we looked into like the first year, like 14, 15 months, I think, of our mortgage. We paid like maybe $2,000 down on the principal. It was literally all interest.
Yep. So
now, obviously, it's going in the right direction now. Like every year, it's that much more towards the principal. But
what does Alex own that car? What's that? That's a $45,000 car, isn't it?
nah, it's 32.
No, it's not that bad. I thought
But
she paid him.
she got
Yeah.
she got $8,000 for trade in, $8,500. So she financed, I think, about 22, and so we're like a year, and she hasn't even had a year. So she probably was 18 on it.
Your payment's probably like $320 something, $350.
Yeah, I think she's paying like $350, $360.
Yeah, that's like identical situation what we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I mean, she got solid trade-in value. I mean, but she got to the point her car had like 90,000 miles on, but it was in great condition. I mean, inspection, everything was always up to date. But she was at 90,000. She's like, all right, I'm going to start driving a lot more. Does it make sense to trade in now, get a new car, or just drive this till the wheels fall off? And we were back and forth on it a lot, and I just felt like it made sense to get rid of it before she had any serious issues.
Yep.
It wasn't over 6 figures on mileage, so it made sense, and it worked out, I think.
I mean, I feel like everyone's situations is different. Like that's the thing I've noticed. Like as I've been like coaching people, is like it's so like
One, how we get there, but like
yeah.
you were obviously brought up, and like your dad's an entrepreneur, so like you had that in your blood, man. Like
I guess
day one, like first grade. Come on, like what were you doing at 7, 8 years old? You sure as
not
hell weren't
selling
thinking about
porn.
selling anything.
it's just funny that was porn.
we sold spitball shooters.
I think about like I've thought about it, I'm like man maybe one day I'll be like famous. Well, I don't want to be famous, but like I was like, what
Right.
if I ever became famous and like someone was doing like an interview like this, like, well, where'd you start? Well, I started by selling porn in first grade. Like it's like man, that was a sick fuck there, man. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
crazy.
don't know. I think that'd be a great story to lead with.
Yeah,
I'm just all
And
about
now it's documented, so you can't take
Yeah.
it back.
yeah. I
No.
know.
All
No
11,
one's gonna watch this
all
fucking show
11,
anyways.
all 11 viewers that Steve will get on YouTube are gonna know.
Well, let's be honest. It's going to be 9 because you two are going to be.
Oh, I'm definitely not gonna watch this. It's too long. I'll be in my car, be like, I just had this conversation.
I
don't need to
also
listen to it
hate
again.
hearing my own voice, so
I
I
do
don't
too.
like watching them.
I do too, because then I realize how dumb I sound. God damn it! I need to shut up.
That's good.
Why do I get paid to talk?
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap this thing up. Chris, where can people find you at?
CBMcoaching.com.
CBMcoaching.com.
Mm-hmm.
CBMcoaching.com.
Coaching.com.
Yeah, doing any social media or anything like that, or is it just
No, I can't write.
well, you're a ginger, so
Maybe one day I'll do some social media, but no, I'm not in a hurry. Just slowly work into it so I don't have a mental breakdown again.
good deal. Good deal.
Yep.
Smart.
Yep.
All right. Well, Chris, thanks for taking the time. Appreciate it. It's
Mhm.
been fun doing what we always do on the phone anyway. But
How long did you do the session for?
oh man,
He's charging you. That's why he wants to know.
it's been an hour and a half.
Has it really? Jesus Christ.
What's that? $300?
Yeah. That's 300.
Put on his tab.
I'm paying
I
on
don't
the
know how
command
much.
card.
Yeah, think about it. I just changed your life. I just made you a millionaire in like 10 minutes. That's why
In an hour and a half. Somehow your time scale is a little off there.
I am gonna I am gonna get to the point where like I do charge like I'm gonna have wealth building sessions and they're gonna be like $500 sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm gonna charge a
That
pretty good
makes
amount.
sense. That would
Yeah.
be the next step. Like,
Yeah.
all right, you're out of debt. Now.
Yep.
Now you got more money.
Yeah, now you got more money. Yeah, no, so that's the next step. So like think about it. If I'm gonna show someone how they could have a couple $1 million in the bank, if you're fucking 25 years old and I came to you and I said, hey, you pay me $500, I'll show you how you can have $4 million in the bank by the time you're 65. Would you pay the $500? I think it's well worth it. If you sell it like that, I don't know.
Yeah.
I would pay it. It sounds like a scheme. If you come with a guy and say, it's not quick rich, it's a very slow process, but I'll show you could have
Chris,
$3 or $4
you
million.
paid $1,200 to sell grills that you never even sold. So yeah, I think you'd easily pay that $500.
I've wasted a lot of money. It's not waste. I've learned what not to fucking do. Not
That's
buy
what
not
life
buy
is, man.
not buy a blender and try to malt barley is what I learned not to do.
We live and learn. Good deal.
Battery powered blender.
You ever heard about that?
It's a great song.